people don't understand pensions. The pensions are a brilliant product. People don't understand finance. Nobody teaches them about managing money. So what we need urgently is more openness and more transparency and more trust so that people want to engage with these really important issues.
A healthy financial sector is important for the health of society, and we all want a happy, secure life, and particularly we want to retire and enjoy that life for as long as we can.
Financial services is provided for individuals who need long-term saving vehicles, financial needs. The financial services industry was designed to fulfil those needs, whether it's with savings or it's with protection. And if people don't trust the people that they're giving their money to, then they're not going to have their financial long-term needs met.
It is widely accepted that the great financial crisis has been blamed in a great part on the incentives that were paid to people in the financial services sector. And incentives were poorly designed and encouraged undue and unnecessary risk for people working in that industry.
Trust, firstly, on a big picture level, it's important not to lose sight of the fact that financial services don't create wealth themselves. It's an enabling industry. And so if we lose trust in the enablers of the economy, it has really profound implications both for the economy but also for society as a whole. Ultimately, if trust in financial services is lost over time, that can have very profound implications, and it can creep up on you in time. And if we lose trust in financial services, at some point in time we run the risk of losing trust in capitalism itself.
From a very specific stance of looking at pensions, there's a very clear manifestation of where trust is leading to poor outcomes. At the moment, there's something like £10 billion that's been taken out of DC pensions and is ending up in some form of cash-based deposits, and that's not a good outcome in the long run for consumers. And so trust is one of the drivers for this behaviour, and I think it's going to lead to very bad consequences in the future.
Rebuilding trust in financial services, to me, is important because financial services is the primary access of society to the monetary system itself. And the monetary system is important because it's the greatest decision-making engine we have on the planet. It underpins all national economies, it underpins global trade, it underpins international workings of various forms.
And the sad reality is that many people don't trust it. And they don't trust it for many reasons: malpractice, malfeasance, misconduct, mis-selling over many, many years, lots and lots of adverse publicity. And what it's doing is making the consumer distant from the supply side of the industry. In other words, the consumer is not engaging as much with the industry as it should, and as a consequence, not putting away enough money for retirement, not insuring enough, not putting enough money away for savings and long-term planning, etc.
I think it's really important for all of the parties involved to collaborate. At the same point in time, we have to recognise that some of those parties are there to regulate the industry, and so it's important that parts of the industry don't get too cosy with each other. At the end of the day, information sharing is absolutely critical because that helps break down the silos and it helps broaden the understanding of all the players in the industry. So I think collaboration, insofar as it relates to information sharing, is a very important part of that.
You've got some very well-respected people in the industry. You've got Martin Lewis, who's on the ITV Money Man. You've got the Rip Off Britain team on BBC. And a lot of people watch these programmes. A lot of people get their views on financial services from these programmes. If we're going to have any chance of changing what those people say, then we're going to have to get the main decision makers and politicians on side. We're going to need a lot of weight to get those people to change what they're going to say.
Most of the issues with trust were not down to any one particular provider, and they were more to do with system issues, and therefore it is the role of everybody within that system, so policymakers, regulators, HMRC, everybody to come together and work to a solution. Providers can't do it on their own.
It is going to require multiple components of the financial system to come together to work out probably new ways of tackling this issue.
You cannot tackle a problem like this without bringing all of the stakeholders in, because it isn't one single problem. It's actually multiple interconnected and interrelated problems.
If you have too many people working separately in silos, or indeed working against each other for their own vested interests, then it's less likely that you're going to come up with a sustainable resolution of the problem. So I think all of us involved in finance, whichever element of the stakeholder base we have closest ties to, need to be working with them and with other like-minded people to drive this agenda forward.